Welcome back to Toys on Tap. This week is an incredible week. Hakon Collectibles comes on, talks about history, and talks about his journey in art, and talks about starting a shop, working at a print shop, teaching rollerblading to kids for 12 years, all kinds of stuff, and now owning the actual storefront that he gets to sell streetwear, artist things, and all kinds of stuff. If you want more Toys on Tap, please like, follow, rate, review wherever you get it. That helps this get into other people's eyes so that we can then start producing other stuff. It leads to bigger opportunities for us, and it's free for you. Absolutely love that. If you want to support the show, you can follow us on all socials at Toys on Tap. And if you want to support even more, you can jump on that Patreon, patreon.com/toysontap. It's where extra stuff hits when it hits, and we love the support. So thank you so much. Now let's get to this week's episode of Toys on Tap. Yeah, dude. Hey, I'm pumped that you came on. Also a little early. This is going to be such a good conversation. I was dealing with garbage a second ago, but we're good. Yeah. I mean, it just people wanting to produce toys, and you ask a question, something super simple like, hey, do you have multiple quotes?
Yeah.
Do you have are the molds already done? Because I see you have a toy, and they're like, yeah, I'm already working with this factory, but we don't have molds. You're not working for anything. You just paid for a sample or a prototype. So it's like, and I'm trying to save them because they had a Kickstarter that failed, and they want to redo it. And it's like, don't do this yet. You're not ready. Don't.
Yeah. Like I worked as a graphic designer, freelance graphic designer for years, and it was just like, when you get like projects that are half done and it's like, can you finish this? And it's just like, can I just start from the beginning? Or just if you're printing something for somebody and it's just like, have you got a file to print? And they're like, what's a file? And it's just like, I just want a flyer printed. And it's like, we need like a digital file to like print. We need to make something to turn it into a piece of paper. And,
or even something as simple as like, do you have a vector image?
Yeah.
And they're like, what's a vector?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I kind of understand maybe that's kind of technical for like your average person, but see, since Canva came out and everyone thinks they can do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have Canva over there?
Yeah. It's like I use it for only for file like documents. I don't use that for art. That's crazy.
Yeah, because like originally, like lots of folk were like making their company logos on it, but then trying to like take the file when Canva was new anyway, you couldn't just convert the file into something that was easy to print, and it was just like, good times.
That's too much. Hey, well, I'm pumped you're on because you are in Glasgow, Scotland, correct?
That's right,
Which is crazy. You're my first artist that is coming from Scotland that has been on the podcast. Oh no, who's the first one?
It was one of your early ones. What was his name?
Don't tell me that, because if they're listening, they're going to be so upset.
Oh, hold on. Is it Rainbow something?
Oh, Rainbow Yawn?
No. Nah.
Dark. Is it Dark Rainbow?
Remember. It'll come back to me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it'll come back.
If it comes back mid, just like pause it, scream it at me, and then we'll go.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm pumped. I'm really excited to be able to do an interview, especially with people all over the world. So I'm glad that you're on. I want to hear the story, because not only do you make toys, you have a shop, you do streetwear, you do all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So
what's
I'm
the
pumped.
word? Yeah, it's like what's the phrase when you're like the master of none, but you're like a jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone always likes to say the first part, like, oh, I'm a jack of all trades. Yeah, the second part means that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am pumped to see what you got going on. So just like we start every episode, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do.
My name's Graham. I'm from Glasgow, Scotland. I'm a resin toy artist, sort of ish, and I've been a graphic designer, worked in the print industry. I run a shop. We sell designer toys, streetwear. Um, yeah, kind of dabble with everything.
That's dope. Are you the only shop? I mean, before we get into your history, are you the only shop that's there that does this?
In Scotland, I think so.
That's in an entire country.
Yeah,
You're the only one.
I think so. If if
That's
there's
wild.
anybody else out there that does it, then hit me up. But I'm pretty sure we're the only ones. It's not like a big thing up here. Like, so if you go down south to England, it's bigger down there, you know. But like in Scotland, most folk, you show them this stuff and they're just like, "What is that?" Like nobody really knows about it up in this part of the world, which is kind of weird. Like it's
Yeah.
starting to
I
get there, you
long for
know.
the day where I could be the only one. Like, so cool. So cool. Okay. You chose to do this, which means your life from childhood was good. You
Yep,
had toys and cartoons. So
yep.
walk me back to your childhood. Tell me about your childhood growing up, the toys you had, the cool stuff that Scotland might have that we didn't have, and all that.
Well, so I was born in 1984, so
Okay.
obviously got like the best toys. I
Yeah.
caught sort of like tail end of He-Man and stuff, that sort of thing. I think I only ever had one actual He-Man that wasn't just from like a jumbo sale or a second-hand thing. But then my main toys when I got into toys was Ghostbusters. Like that was the first
Heck
thing.
yeah.
So I think I was maybe 3 or 4 when that was out here, and that was the first toys that I had that was just like, this is amazing. Like, and
Yeah.
then obviously Turtles came out after that. So the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters
So
Turtles
good.
was the main stuff.
We're going to take a pause right here. If you're looking to come hang out or see Toys on Tap in person, let me tell you what 2026 has already started to look like and where we're headed. We did Indie Toy LA in February. It was an amazing show up in Alhambra. Absolutely loved being there. Got to booth next to some really cool people, bringing the Kaiju Claw out, all kinds of cool things. In April, we are headed to Collected Con, where we are doing interviews on the spot. Mark Nagata is doing a booth takeover on Saturday, and we are boothing with a good friend, Gong Kong Toys, and we absolutely cannot wait to see everyone there. Then this summer in June, we're headed to Pasadena for the Pasadena Designer Con. Yes, we have a booth there. Yes, we will be selling. Yes, you can come say hi, hang out with us, all kinds of cool things. Then in November, we are headed to Designer Con in Las Vegas. We love this show. It was an amazing show being at last year, and we can't wait to be back to do all kinds of crazy, cool things with exclusives and drops. Right now, we're deciding if we want to go to a show that's in September, Godzilla Fest in SF. We would like your opinion. If you want to see us there, we'd love to go there. We're trying to figure out what that looks like for our schedule, but I think that that's where we're going to happen. But I think that's where we're going to be headed. So if you want to come see us, those are the shows, those are the events. Come say hi. Yeah, did you have is it Action Hero or did you have G.I. Joe?
Eh, the ones I had, I think, were GI Joe, but I couldn't be sure
Okay.
because there was a thing. I've heard folks saying that we had Action Hero, but I'm sure the card back like it's such a long time ago. My memory may not actually be right. I might just be thinking it's GI Joe because that's what you see, you know.
Yeah. Cuz there's also one more, it's called like Eagle Force maybe or something like that
Oh,
people also kind of lump into that. And I can't remember what it's actually called.
yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, that could be.
Um
Is that like the fake GI Joes? Maybe. No,
it might
Eagle.
be.
No,
I
no.
see him.
Eagle Force was the original one with that, and they weren't articulated, wasn't it?
Mm,
I'm probably.
but they like I thought they were maybe they were metal. I don't know. I don't know anything about so like GI Joe. I didn't grow up with any of the cool
Yeah.
GI Joe. I like I grew up in the 90s, and by the time I was old enough to see something cool from GI Joe, I got G.I. Joe Extreme, and it was the worst G.I. Joe line
Yeah, I've seen
to
them.
ever exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I mean, I longed for the days to like have the aircraft carrier and the planes and all that stuff, but I did not grow up in the right era to get that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Turtles were amazing, and then Toxic Crusaders, they were cool. Did you have Toxic
Yeah.
Crusaders?
I have, yeah, I didn't have any as a kid.
Yeah.
I had a couple Ninja Turtles growing up, nothing crazy. My love for Ninja Turtles came about way later because now all I do is collect like Ninja Turtle bootlegs from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got
It,
like I buy just like vintage markets and stuff. I buy lots of like bootleg, like actual bootleg figures, and I've always got loads of Turtles ones and stuff just for taking to toy markets and that.
if
So
you ever find a crazy Ninja Turtle bootleg, I'll you
I'll
let
show
me
you
know.
after
I'll
what I've
buy it.
got. I'll show
Yeah.
you after what I've got.
Cool. So you grow up with that kind of stuff, which kind of influences that.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of take me to the point where art maybe kicks in. Like if art doesn't start as a kid, it means you picked it up in like school somewhere.
Well, I guess like I've always drawn and stuff like because we had like comics like the Beano and the Dandy. I don't know if you've heard of them, but
Yeah.
they're like just like British comics that have been around for a long time. But the cartoon styles are quite simple, so it was like I always used to try and like copy them and stuff when I was little. And then yeah, so I've always kind of drawn, and then like when I was wee, I always had like loads of coloring books and stuff, and just like so it was always kind of just there in the background, you know. And then it was at secondary school when I was like, okay, I'm into art, and I'm trying to think how. I think in 1993 a film came out called Airborne.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like super
Never.
cheesy. It's a super cheesy Disney movie, but it has rollerblading in it. Like lots of rollerblading, just does rollerblading about in the streets and stuff. And then so in 1995, I think around then, there was like a big sort of boom in this country anyway, where every kid had rollerblades.
Yeah.
And so I sort of remembered of seeing this film in a couple of years previous, and I was like, that was cool, that was cool. So when everyone stopped rollerblading, I kept rollerblading, and then buying like rollerblade magazines and stuff, and then you start getting into like skateboard stuff. And then like the skateboard magazines had like adverts for like juxtapause and things. So I was like seeing them
Yeah.
as a little kid, and I'm just like, "What's this?" So it was like, yeah, it was like that would have been like the sort of thing that started it. Was this like there's this world out here of just weird stuff that's cool, you know? And as a wee dude, you're just like, "What is this? This is awesome." So yeah, that was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, that's 90s. That's like pinnacle 90s
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Rollerblading, Jinko jeans,
yeah, yeah.
anything like that.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you do that. Does that kind of ignite this? Because you end up in streetwear, which
Yeah.
means there's got to be some kind of like graffiti element around your life too, right?
I hang out with a lot of graffiti artists and stuff. I've never really got into it. Like, I had enough bad habits when I was younger.
Yeah.
I could get myself into enough trouble without spray painting other folks' property. You know, so yeah, like I
Yeah.
never really got into graffiti, but I was always interested in it. I'll sit and draw with a pen and
Yeah.
stuff on paper, but I won't give me a spray paint can of spray paint. I can't do anything.
Yeah. And then do you get like, do you go to secondary school and get a degree in art related field?
Well,
Because I
I
mean,
left
now
school
you're doing
early.
that.
So when I left school, I only had qualifications in art and design and craft and design.
Mm,
So craft and design is just like making stuff with like wooden pencil cases and things. And they kind of touch a
okay.
little bit on kind of like graphic design stuff. Like when I left school, they were probably after I left school, they would have started using computers more. Craft and design was all like hands-on stuff. It was stuff that I was good at it and I enjoyed it. So I went to college and did an HND in product design, and then went to
Hmm.
uni and did a degree in sports equipment design, and
Okay.
this whole time, like I couldn't use computers. I hated using computers. I couldn't do anything with a computer. And in the last year of uni, I just kind of had to learn. It's like you have to just be able to use a computer to do this stuff, you know. So it was actually in the last year of uni, I was just like, I actually prefer just sitting on Illustrator and just drawing stuff. And I was like, I don't even want to make
Yeah.
stuff anymore. I want to be a graphic designer now. I don't want to be a product designer. I want to be a graphic designer. So
I gotta say, it's crazy to hear the phrase, I didn't use a computer, and then you went to university
yeah,
and then still didn't use a computer.
I mean,
And
we
then the
used them,
last
but
year,
just as it was still a lot of everything was done by hand, and like your models were all
yeah,
made by hand, like out of blue foam and then wood or whatever, and then like yeah, everything was pencil rulers still up until like yeah,
that's wild.
yeah,
That's like, there's only a 6 year difference between us, but in that
yeah,
6 years, it's like so much stuff was probably different. So,
yeah, so
you
much,
finally pick it up and then do some kind of graphic design.
yeah. So well, I graduated from uni in 2007, and then
Okay.
so in 2008 there was like the big credit crunch that basically brought the world to a standstill. And I couldn't get a job as a graphic designer because nobody wanted to take on like some new junior graphic designer because they just didn't have the money for it.
Yeah.
So that kind of just got pushed to the side for a few years. And I was just going working in bars, just doing the odd jobs here and there. And then I ended up teaching kids how to rollerblade in skate parks for like 12 years. Um,
Like as
and
a job?
yeah, that's what I did for a living.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so that was like 12 years. And in amongst that and like that was sort of seasonal work. It was like school holidays and in the evening, weekends and stuff. So during the
Mhm.
days I was kinda dabbling with just doing like freelance graphic design work and stuff and just
Mhm.
doing wee odd jobs here and there, like little restaurant flyers, menus, wedding stuff, all that kind of thing. And then, so I taught kids how to rollerblade for 12 years. When that job ended, I got a job full time in a print shop and was like, they're
Mhm.
working in print, digital print, obviously. And then I was like the shop graphic designer as well. And I did that until basically I opened the shop last year. For a few years, I was full time doing that. And then it was more part time when I started my own like streetwear brand and stuff. So yeah.
It's it's crazy. I like, let's walk back to you called it a credit crunch. That's what
Yeah.
you called it in 2008.
Yeah.
In the US, it was the housing market crash.
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Y- Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny that we even call it different things. And then tell me more about this 12-year stint of teaching kids rollerblading and stuff.
Um, it was a company in just outside Glasgow, like not far from where I live, and basically it was like a council run thing. And so it was like I don't know
Mhm.
what it's like over where you are, but in this country, the councils all across the country at some point were like in deprived areas will just build a concrete skate park and that'll give the kids something
Mhm.
to do. But that like didn't work because none of them knew how to use it. So like
Yeah.
the council that I worked for, they were just like, we need to get people in to actually show the kids what to do because they're just drinking and fighting and just like smashing the place up and like not using the skate park as a skate park. So yeah, I
Yeah.
ended up just some of my mates did it. Like they got their jobs first doing the BMX stuff because it was like skateboard, BMX, and rollerblading lessons that we ran. So yeah, I was like the rollerblade guy for 12 years.
Holy jeez. I mean, the hard part too is like, you hear these things where people get degrees and then they don't work inside their field.
Yeah,
And so for those 12 years doing freelance graphic design on the side and doing all that stuff. What does it kind of feel like to be outside of your degree? I mean, while the world is still recouping from that.
I don't know. I mean, it was sort of just, it was never something I really thought about at the time. Do you know? I was just like, this is what I'm doing. And at that time, I never saw like the rollerblading job end. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
make some money on the side doing freelance graphic design stuff. And then when the rollerblading job did come to an end, it was like, okay, I actually need to do something now. Like, I need to get a real job. Do you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't really until the end I actually thought about it. So like for 12 years, it was just like, yeah, just going hanging out at skate park and paid.
And then you get to go and do art full time as a
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
So then it becomes like, like loses its fun a little bit.
definitely. Especially when you're working in a shop and it's just like, it's just different. Like doing work for clients and doing your own stuff is completely different. It's like when I started my streetwear brand, I basically got to the point where I was like totally self-sufficient, so I could do everything myself,
Mm-hmm.
like do all the screen printing, everything. And when you're trying to get something out of your own head down onto paper, onto the screen, or like onto a t-shirt or something, it's so much easier than trying to get out of somebody else's head, especially if they
Yeah.
don't actually know anything about the process of doing it.
Oh my gosh. So then you're, dude, so much goes into what you just said.
Yeah.
uh, it's hard to, that's how I function with people that sculpt
Mm.
toys for me. It's hard for me to convey the things that I want to them. It's really hard for me to tell them like, this is what it needs to look like. This is
Yeah.
what it is. Um, the same way that like when I finish a toy and people come to me and they're like, I want to make a toy, whatever that means.
Mm.
And then it's like, okay, we have a lot to talk through. It's easier for me to just do it,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of walking you through it.
Yeah.
Um, you're this guy that's in this print shop. Is it like shirts and canvas and all the different things?
So it was in Glasgow in the West End, so it was right next to Glasgow Uni. So we got a lot of student work, just like dissertations and thesis, like actually sewing
Okay.
up the books by hand and things, and then a lot of just posters, flyers, business cards, basically anything on paper, and then we got a vinyl cutter in at one point, and then started. That's how I kind of got into the t-shirt stuff, doing my own like streetwear brand, was because we got a vinyl cutter in the shop, so we started offering t-shirt printing, and then yeah, just that's how
Which
that started.
love that. You get into the streetwear stuff.
Yeah,
It's like we're slowly approaching the beginnings of the origin of you being this
yeah.
artist run shop with art making toys and stuff. What year is this when you're at the print shop and they're starting with the vinyl cutter?
So it was probably like 2015, 16. We got the vinyl cutter. And like
Okay.
my boss got it. She drove down to England and bought it from somebody second hand. So it had like no instructions or anything. She brought it back to the shop with like a load of vinyl and this vinyl cutter and like some really old laptop with some program. I can't remember what the program was, and was just like, she's like, right, there you go, go and figure out how to work it. And it's just like, okay. So it was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, YouTube.
Dude, we used to have a vinyl cutter at a place I worked at, and the amount of stencils that can get made,
Yeah,
and it's just like, if it's tedious, you got to like weed all the
yeah,
little excess pieces out. I hated that. And then doing the transfer paper was, dude, I hated all of it.
yeah. Like I make actually when I'm doing screen printing, because I don't have a light anymore for burning
Hmm.
my own screens. I actually, if it's a simple design, I'll just cut it in vinyl and then I'll just press it onto the mesh, and then you've got a pretty indestructible screen.
Wait, vinyl on the screen
Yeah,
is usable for screen printing?
Yeah, and it's pretty indestructible. It doesn't wash off easily. So it's like,
That's
yeah, it's
wild.
really good. It's that's a wee quick, what do you call it? Wee cheat for anyone that does that sort of thing.
Yeah. How fun. And then you do that, you're in there, it's 2015-ish.
Mm.
When do we start getting back into toys?
That's not for a few years yet. So the streetwear
Okay.
brand comes first. In 2006,
Okay, tell me about the streetwear
the
brand.
streetwear brand is like Hakon Clothing, and so that
Yeah.
starts in the first batch of t-shirts came out in September 2017, but I started teaching myself how to screen print early 2016. And that was just like books, YouTube videos and stuff. The hardest bit about screen printing is just actually when you have to burn the image onto the screen. That was just like, I couldn't get my head around that at all. I had to get somebody to show me how to do that. But
Yeah.
once I had that down, then we were flying. Like, then that was us, we were away. And then, so in February 2017, my dad died of cancer. And 2 days after he died, I found this book that he'd been reading when I was born about this Viking king. There was like, not far from where we live, is there's a place on the west coast of Scotland called Largs. And there was like a big
Yeah.
battle in 1216 or something there when the last time the Vikings tried to invade Scotland and they weren't successful. And
Mhm.
the Viking king at the time was called Hakon. So my dad was reading this book when I was born, and he'd been joking to my mum while she was still in hospital that he was going to go and register me as Snorri Hakon. So he used to always call me that when I was little. And then, so I'd never ever seen the book before, but 2 days after he died, I just randomly found it. Like I'd heard where this weird nickname came from because he used to always call me it when I was little. And then, so 2 days after he died, I found this book that he'd been reading, and like on the cover was the name. So I was like, that's why that's where the name for Hawk On Clothing came from. It was like this nickname that my dad had given me when I was little. Um, so then 2000 and I'd always seen from 2013 onwards. I think I was sort of doing freelance graphic design stuff. So I had an Instagram page for that,
Mhm.
and I started seeing like the monies and the dunnies and stuff that people used to just draw on them, and like that was the
Yeah.
first things that I saw. And then I saw the Sucklord stuff, like the Gay Empire Stormtroopers, the pink ones. Like pink's my favorite
Yeah.
color, so they were just like, that's amazing. And I always had it in the back of my head that that was a thing that happened. And then the more time you spend on Instagram, you find something you like, and then you just keep going and keep going and keep going. So then you just find all this stuff. So then I discovered in sort of 2018, 19, that there was like events in like the UK where like people went to
Yeah.
and like sold this stuff. So
Dude, just to yeah, the first time you realize that people sell those types of action figures,
yeah,
it's a game changer.
yeah. So it was 2019. It's, I made my first. I tried to make my first figure probably late 2018, early 2019. I made 5 of them. It was like sort of
Mhm.
like a custom dunny figure with like moving parts, huge piece of resin with like moving arms and moving head, and it was meant to be a Viking with an axe and a shield that you could take out of their hands and everything. And it was just like, I wouldn't even try and build that, make that now, and like I know what I'm doing a little bit more than I did then. But
Yeah.
uh, so I made 5 of them, and then 2019, I've heard about ToyCon UK in London.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm going to take them down there and show them to folk and like go and check it out. So I got a plane down. I just flew down because it's only like an hour to London. Flew down
Mhm.
in the morning and then flew back the same night. Just went to ToyCon UK and was like, met loads of folk, took my figures down. Folk were just like, they're cool, but see if you did this, like, and showed me about like putting vents in and like, so you don't get the air bubbles and all that sort of thing. And I was just, I had no idea. Like, Okay. So it was cool, man. And then
Unreal.
later, that was in the spring, and then later on in the same year, there used to be an event. It was on last year, but it was called Toy Art UK, and it was in Leeds, so it was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
closer to home. So I got the train down to there again, and then met some of the same folk, and just was like, yeah, this is cool, man. Like, I want to be a part of this. So yeah, after COVID, I was just like, the first ones, I was just like, I'd made a few figures, resin figures, and I was just like, I'm going to go and try and sell them at these events, and I've been doing them ever since.
Yeah. Which is, it's so rad, right? Like the next show, like the first international show that I want to go to is ToyCon UK, excuse me.
Mm,
Um, it's like, it just looks cool.
yeah,
Like I've sponsored the event before and I've never even been there.
yeah.
Um, but that's one of the shows that I want to add to my
I
mix
think this
for
year's going to be
next
pretty
year.
big because they're saying like
And-
a lot of the tickets are actually sold out already. The weekend tickets sold out really quick. So yeah, should be a
yeah,
bit busy one this year, hopefully.
if I would have planned better, the hard part is like last year I did my first show, and then this year I have 4,
Mm,
and so it's like we're just going upward.
yeah,
So that's the hope. Yeah, I do want to get there because it is such a cool thing. Um, but so you go, I mean, then you have to learn how to do it all right. Like
yeah,
you see all these, and then you got to figure out how to do it. And I know what a headache it is to get smooth on and stuff in other
yeah. It's
countries. And you
expensive.
guys are, yeah. And I'm assuming that's what you guys are using because that's like top tier stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like there's a company, I can't remember what they're called, Bentley something, and they're like the European
Mm,
distributors for Smooth On. So it's like it's easy enough to get, but it's just expensive. And then like yeah, there's
yeah.
cheaper resins and things, but like I got some cheap stuff, and it's like on the box it says like super quick curing, and it's like 24 hours, and it's like that's not
Yeah.
quick. I don't want to wait 24 hours to take out the mold to see if it's worked or not.
Yeah. I mean, the hard part is like Smooth On has stuff that cures in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, dude, when I first started resin casting, so I don't do it anymore.
Mm,
Like I've gotten rid of all my stuff. Resin is not ever what I want to go back to. It's just such an intense thing.
yeah.
So when I started, I was making these, man, it was like Ronald McDonald stuck in carbonite or
Mm,
something like that. And his shoes were poking out, all kinds of stuff. And I was making them, and on the first pour, I was pouring out of the cup and I dropped the cup.
yeah, I've done that.
I don't know what happened, but dude, it went everywhere. It went everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was in my house. And I was like, like I had to like wait for it to cure and then like slowly like chisel it up off
Mm,
the ground. It was the worst. It was the worst. I dropped mold making supplies and stuff,
yeah.
which it just leaves such a greasy thing on the
Yep.
ground. One time I dropped a full cup of A of the mold making
Right.
stuff, and
Okay.
so I just took the full cup of B and just jumped it on so I could mix it together
On
so
the
it would
floor.
peel off. Yeah, because it was like I'm not gonna
Yeah. Don't wait.
try to
Don't let
clean
it
up
go to
A
waste,
and then
man.
yeah, it was too much for me, dude. So you start making stuff. I mean, now you're doing 2 types of art while also working in an art
Yeah.
place. So you're burning this candle at 3 ends right now instead of just the 2. So how are you functioning and making art and then trying to get to these toy shows, like all that stuff?
Well, since since the beginning of 2018, almost every weekend I've been out at a market or an event with my streetwear brand, bar COVID time, obviously.
Okay.
So since we opened the shop, I'm trying to get out at least once a month somewhere to an event,
Mm.
whether it's specifically toy related or if it's something where I'll take stuff from the shop, just general art, or I'll have my own. It'll just be my streetwear stuff. So how do I manage it? I don't know. Just it's
Just you do.
it's
That's
what
you
I want
do.
to do. So it's like you just kind of do it, do you know?
Yeah. One of the I mean, what type of markets are you doing with streetwear? What does that
So
look
a
like
lot of them
in
are like just
Scotland?
craft markets and things where it's like you'll have people who
Cool.
make candles and jewelry and stuff. And then like there's other streetwear brands and things go to them and things. So yeah, like I've been doing that a long time before I started going to the toy events and stuff. So going to the toy events, I was just like, yeah, it's just another market, you know. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it's like
Tell me tell me about the lead up to opening your own shop.
the lead up.
Because if it's yeah, because if it's true that you are potentially the only one doing what you
Hmm.
do in Scotland, barring the fact that we can't remember whoever else did it.
Well,
Um,
there's a few other toy
if you
artists. There is a
okay,
there is a wee crew of us these days.
okay,
I'm definitely not the first Glaswegian on the show.
okay. And so if you are in this, that means the market for this stuff is a little different.
Hmm.
And you chose to open a shop
Hmm.
that sells streetwear and type like resin and designer toys.
Yep.
So we're going to take a pause right here. As of right now, we have closed out the Queso Jones Kickstarter. We have shipped out all the things, and we are so excited that they will be arriving in hand to the collectors and people that want them on their shelves. We have a couple more projects coming up. We have one with Hemo Adventures, which we're really excited for. 2 pieces, possibly a third one, all in that same Kickstarter. We have one coming with Depressed Monsters. Really excited about that one. It finally adds a cute factor to Toys on Tap because that's what we've been missing the whole time. And we're still working towards finding an exact date to release the Snailians. We've been working on that project. We have the comic book that will be there and the soft vinyl toys of the 4 brothers from Snailians. And so we can't wait to bring those to you. And if you don't know where to find us, everything is on Instagram and you'll be updated there and the newsletter and anywhere else that you want to get updated. We will be there. Let's get back to the show. Lead me to that point. When did you realize like this is what I want to
I
do?
think when you've got your own brand, like the end game is always just to have a shop, and then
Yeah.
going out to markets and stuff it's hard going because it's like you pack holdalls every weekend, load up the car, and then unpack again when you get home and load up again, and it's just like it's hard going. Like I enjoy doing markets and stuff, but it's not an easy way to make a living. It's where I make the most money because like I've
Mhm.
had my streetwear in lots of shops and things, and if it's just hanging on the shelf, it's somebody might buy it if they like it. When I can stand in front of
Yeah.
somebody and tell them about it and tell them the story of how the company name came about, then I sell more that way. Folk like to hear a story, do you know, they like a story. So although it's the hardest way to do it, but it's the best way, I think, sales wise. And then so
Yeah.
3 years ago, my daughter was born, and I did all my resin stuff and all my screen printing and everything in the house. So
Not with a baby.
yeah, so the spare room was the stock room, and it was completely
Uh-huh.
filled with everything, like boxes and bags of just stock. And then so one of the stockists that I was in, she'd mentioned like grabbing a coffee with her one day or something, and then she would mention that she was thinking about renting out the upstairs in her shop to like as a
Mhm.
studio space. And then so obviously we were about to have a baby. Or no, we maybe actually had Ayla by that point, and then yeah, it was like there's not enough space for me and her. So dad has to boot. Dad has to go. So yeah, I
Yeah.
basically moved all my print stuff into into the shop that I'm in now, up the stairs in the shop. So it was like all the stock gone from the house, everything out of the house. The only thing I do in the house now is just the resin stuff, and I do that in the room that I'm sitting in at the moment. And this is just like the resin and
Hmm.
paint room and junk room. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was within maybe 3 years ago. Ayla's 3, so it would have been, yeah, I'm pretty sure she'd been born at the time when I moved. And then so I was just in there working all the time, and then the girl who had the shop, I knew her lease was coming to an end, and I was sort of just like she was giving signs that she wasn't going to renew it. She was kind of just like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I've had enough of this. This isn't for me. Like I've done it for too long. I want out." And then so I spoke to my accountant, and I was just like, so I asked, I'd been fishing and being like, how much are you paying for rent and everything, and like kind of trying to get some figures from her.
Yeah.
And then went and spoke to the accountant, and I was like, listen, like, could we afford to do this? And he was like, do it. Like one day you're gonna die. And he was just like, when your time's up, are you going to look back and regret this? And I was like, well, yeah, absolutely. Like it's always been like the thing of like, once you've got your own brand, you want your own shop. But I knew
Yeah.
that I couldn't just sell my own stuff. Like it just wouldn't work. So we
Hmm.
stock like at the moment we stock just under, or maybe just over 30 independent artists
Hmm.
and who do toys. We've got streetwear brands. We've got just artists who create art on paper, like paintings and stuff. We've got graffiti artists. Yeah, but it's all folk that I've met over the years doing events and things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, 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 that's so much going into that
yeah,
shop. I mean, the the uh, the dream, right? Like I would later on, I would love to have Toys on Tap as a
mm,
shop. I would love
yeah,
that. I would love that. And then do all kinds of things. Um and I don't know what that fully looks like, but I would love to have that kind of
yeah,
thing. One of the
mm,
things that you were talking about, like your friend said, like you don't know how long you've
yeah,
got,
yeah,
so
yeah.
why not do it? So today I was listening to someone speak, and um they said, let's say you have until 70 years
Mm,
old. Let's say that means I have 35 years
yeah,
left, which my brain starts cooking, and so I start doing math and stuff. I have 1,820 weeks
mm,
left, if I'm lucky, on Earth.
mm,
What am I do? Like, why am I not chasing after every
yeah,
bit?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I chase after toy production as much as I do. That's why I do the things that I want to do, because I if I'm lucky, I have 1,800
Mm,
left.
yeah.
And so it's crazy to think that way. But I do love that you have all these other artists in. I mean, if you're into it, can you kind of tell me about the nitty-gritty of what that looks like? Right? So, there's a resin,
Mm,
especially as a toy, is really hard to carry in a shop, because one, you have to
yeah,
explain like why this toy is $40-$50.
yep.
You have to also explain to the artists of like, I can buy this at wholesale, which means you're selling it for like 25,
Mm,
and then you got to sell it for whatever,
yeah,
or consignment like all kinds of
yeah.
things. So like, what is it like working with so many different artists and so many different scenes and making this shop happen?
Well, to, there's only one or two that I don't really know that well these days. So
Okay.
it's kind of it was when I first mentioned it to folk, I was just like, "This is what we're going to do. It's going to be sale or return." So I was like, "I don't really, we don't have the money just to buy stock like wholesale."
Mm-hmm.
So there's one or two companies, people that we have to do that for because they just won't do any other way, which is fine. But Sailor Return, I think, well, you're either, I've been in lots of shops like over the years with my streetwear brand. So there was like
Mm-hmm.
three options. And the best one for the artist is they buy the stuff wholesale. So you just get a lump of money and then they have the product, and then the artist is happy. The shop may or may not sell the stuff, or the
Yeah.
shop charges you rent to rent a space in the shop, which means even if you
Yeah.
don't sell anything that month, you still owe that rent. So that is like
Hmm.
that's good for the shop because they're getting the money no matter what, but it's not good for the artist. So like
Hmm.
Sailor returns a sort of middle ground. It's like the artists aren't losing money if they don't sell anything, but we're just basically taking we're taking a percentage on each sale. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, most folk were just like, yeah, we're totally happy to do that. That's fine. So yeah, that's kind of the middle ground is Sailor Return, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's a cool thing. And then that means everyone is shipping from outside of Scotland to get to you to be in the shop then, right?
Um, there's a few. The only I've got well, Pete Delicious again. Peter, you had him on. We
Oh
stock
yeah,
his
yeah.
stuff, and then so like when I'm at ToyCon, like I just picked up figures from him last year, and then took them back up the road. So he didn't actually post anything to me. And then there's been some artists from down south who like they just drove up during the school summer holidays last year and just dropped stuff off for me. And then yeah, like a few of the toy artists are Glasgow based, so they don't need to post in. They just drop it into the shop and that, you know.
How long is the drive from like where like I don't know. You flew on one of your
Yeah.
trips. Is it really that far of a drive if you drive down to ToyCon
I
UK?
wouldn't drive just yeah. Driving's not my favorite thing to do. I do it because I have to
Okay.
do it,
I
but
only
I wouldn't
ask
want to drive to
I
London,
only
man.
ask cuz if I drive right now, if I drive 6
Yeah,
hours, it okay, here's a different thing. If I drive 12
yeah,
hours, I'm still in my same
that's
state.
mental. Yeah, like
Yeah, if I drive from the bottom to the
that's
top. So
crazy.
I'm still in
Yeah, yeah.
California.
Well,
My family lives 7 hours
yeah.
away and it's still in
Well,
California. So like how far is that drive for
I
you guys?
mean, if I drove to London, I think it'd probably be like half of that. Yeah, like, yeah. I'm still not
Yeah.
driving to London.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I asked because if I end up going to ToyCon UK, I got to figure out how my drive's going to be up to you so I can
Well,
figure that out.
I get the train down to London when I'm doing ToyCon just because I don't trust. Like I've got
Okay.
one of those big plastic shell suitcase things, so I put everything wrapped in bubble wrap
Hmm.
inside that, and I take it on the train with me because I don't trust putting that on a plane
Okay.
and everything still being intact when I get off the plane.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I don't know. I mean, London's a pain in the arse to drive in because you've got so many just like
Hmm.
all the zones that you need to pay for to go into different bits of London and just like yeah, London's horrible for driving
So
anyway.
you opened a shop, you go to all these shows, you do this. What's next for the shop, for you, um, for Hakon like collectibles as a whole? Like what's the thing for you? What's next?
Um, well, the lease is 5 years for the shop, so
Uh,
we're just
Okay.
like June this year we'll have 4 years left. So at the moment, it's just we're going to be in. I'm going to be in the shop for the next 4 years. I'm going to be out maybe at an event once a month, sort of thing. Um, Still making toys, resin figures, printing T-shirts. Do you know? Nothing's probably going to change now
Yeah.
for the next four
It's
years.
it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you're not working at the print shop anymore,
No,
correct?
no, no. Like I still do work for her.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like if she gets somebody looking for t-shirts, she sends them to me, or if I get somebody looking for something that I can't do, then I'll send them to her, you know. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is my full time.
Um
This is my full time thing now.
for um resin
Mm,
toys. I mean, sometimes people stay in resin the whole
yeah.
time. Sometimes people progressively move out into other toy
Mm.
scenes. What's that look like for you as an artist,
I don't know. Like
as you
I've
look at
never
that?
really had any interest in the vinyl stuff. Like,
How dare you? How dare you?
I don't know. I think the resin stuff's cool. Like, it's just like, especially when it's handmade and just
Yeah,
like the 3D printed stuff is cool. The stuff that looks like it's a thing, but like, I just like the stuff that looks rough and rugged and like the stuff that make you, like, you can tell
yeah,
somebody just made this with their hands, you know? Like, the bit of it that I like is just like stuff that's, yeah, just, it's not perfect. It's just
yeah.
hand.
I mean, there's something to be said about like I don't know, like it is really handmade. Like all toys are
Yeah,
handmade at some level, but I don't make the toys that we
yeah,
sell. And there's something to be said about someone that, like, I remember casting toys and giving them to Dove to sell at
yeah.
Designer Con and stuff. And I hated every
See, I
moment of
love
it.
it. And like, I know you don't like the painting,
Yeah.
do you? That's my favorite bit.
No, dude. The issue, yeah. So if I do want to start painting soft vinyl because I like the idea of
Mm,
spray and that kind of stuff. I do not like the idea of like just painting a figure over and over again. I cannot fall in love with
no,
that.
that's hard going. Like, I think the biggest run that I've done has been maybe just 10 figures. So it's like 10 figures painted the same. That's okay.
Lucky
Yeah,
man.
it's all right. It's doable. But like a lot of the figures, well, some of the figures I've done before, it's like every figure's been painted completely differently. And it's just like, that's fun. And
Hmm.
then I'm doing some figures just now. I was just painting them actually before we started here. And like, so everyone's a different color. So it's just like, yeah, it's like, that's cool.
I did a run of 50 one time
Yeah.
and
The
hated it.
biggest run I've ever done was a run of 30, but none of them were painted. They were just as they were. They were just all
Mm.
different colors of resin. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I just can't do it. There's nothing about it that makes me want to. This guy, when I was under Yucko Toys, he hired me to make an action figure of him on a card back that he could give out as a business card. It's a pretty cool
yeah, yeah.
idea. Um, and it paid pretty well,
Mm,
but the amount of so I mean, you know this, resin needs like a certain type of climate to fully function
hmm.
correctly. Um, he had paid for this in like October, and though it doesn't get cold here or like
Yeah,
crazy cold, it was cold enough that the resin was
right,
slow.
yeah, yeah.
So it took me
Yeah.
forever, and I hated every moment of it,
Like I
dude.
wouldn't do
Every
that.
single moment.
I just did a print job for somebody and it was like 140 t-shirts. But it was just like fronts and backs. So
F that.
it was just me doing it. So it was just
Yep.
like that that doesn't really phase me. See if I had to specifically design something for somebody in resin and make it, like I'm not touching that. Somebody else can do that job, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we've like slowly got into shirts, which I like. We made one for so Mark Nagata will be at a show with us, and we made him a custom shirt that pretty excited for. It's this guy right
Awesome.
here.
That's cool.
Um, pretty pumped. It's all new,
Yeah.
right? Like making shirts and doing that kind of stuff, and I want to do a print. Um, Dude, I just want to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
everything. That's the problem. Like I have 1,820
yeah.
weeks. I want
Yeah,
to do
totally.
everything.
Yeah, I'm the same man. Like
Yeah.
just like so many folk are just like they're like, oh, I wish I could do that, and it's just like, really, why don't just do it? Like the
Yeah.
worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose some money because you're going to waste some materials. That's literally the worst.
That's a pretty big bad thing.
Like, if you just buy one of the small starter boxes things, I don't know if you guys get them,
Yeah.
but it's like the cheap way to do it here is, well, if you're just doing small runs of stuff, you can just buy the little starter tubs. So
Yeah.
yeah, just buy a box and make a little small thing and see what happens.
My wife's going to hate you because she's going to think you're encouraging me to open a shop.
If that's what you want to do, man, I'd say do it. Like you only live
Yeah.
once, you know?
Yeah, that's real. Hey, the last part of every podcast is the artist and shop owner gets to plug everything that they do, everything that they've got coming up, any drops, all that stuff. So please, please, please plug away.
So coming up next weekend, I'm going to be at just a toy fair in Aberdeen, which is a couple hours north from where we are just now. So if there's anybody listening in Aberdeen, we'll be there with a full selection of everything, all the arts from the shop, anything toy related we'll have with us that weekend. I've got a couple of just regular toy fairs coming up. We've got ToyCon UK coming up. Later in the year, there'll be Toy Art UK, I think, is going to be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shop's open 6 days a week. Swing by. Come and see us. Come and say hello.
Heck yeah. He also just started doing interviews. ToyCon UK. No. Toy Art UK.
Yeah. Nick, he did an interview the other day, so I think that's going to be like a new regular sort of thing.
You need to jump on there.
You should get Nick on here as well, yeah. Nick's been in the toy game for quite a while.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't.
He's been in the toy game for quite a long
time. But dude, thank you. It's like, I want to say he said something like 20-something years.
Yeah, because he's been around since the sort of beginnings of when it became a scene sort of thing. Remember, like, what was the magazine called? Clutter? Yeah, because they started off, that was like a UK based magazine, sort of early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
And he's been around in the scene since then.
Jeez. Dude, thank you so much for coming on Toys on Tap.
Thank you very much for having me. Much appreciated.